Hey Ash, that is completely fine, dear. I understand. You don't want to be here during my dairy discussion. Oh my goodness, it's okay. I completely understand though, seriously. But have fun, be careful, don't hurt yourself. Well, you know the norm. I'm going to be going over some mail stuff, so it definitely might be a later kind of thing, so I might still be on whenever you get done. Just pop in and say hi whenever you're done. Because, yeah, I definitely... And you can always watch back, you know that. But yeah, it's going to be different. I'm not a dairy person per se, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, we'll see. Hi, everybody who's just tuning in. I can't talk today, guys. I'm so sorry. It's hot, and my brain is frying on the sidewalk outside. Um, so I'm going to be starting shortly. Just waiting on a couple more people to come on in, and so we can get this thing started. Got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about today, so hopefully it's good. I'm also going to mess with my mic right quick. Yeah. Get it a different color than pink, because every time I turn it off, I keep looking and thinking that it's on, so... Oh crap, guys! Yeah, everybody's getting their Stablemate Club stuff. That's another thing. We've got quite a bit to talk about today. So we'll be starting shortly. Hey guys, still waiting on some people to join. It's kind of dead tonight. I hope everybody's alright out there. I definitely don't need to be talking to myself for sure. Just gonna go over a couple of updates, go over some mailbag, I can't talk. And then gonna dive right into the dairy cattle thing. Let me know if you're still there. Hello everybody. I'm busy posting stuff on Facebook to see if we can get some more friends over. It's not. I hope everybody's having a good evening and staying cool because it is nasty outside. Hello, welcome in. Did everybody get what they wanted for the Breyer Fest second chance if you did participate? Because I got mine today, like 2 or 3 days early compared to... I shouldn't trust UPS when they say, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to deliver it on, Monday the 18th, and they deliver it today. So, hey, I'm not complaining. I like it. While we're here, make sure that I still have 16 people. Hello, welcome in. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick our last door prize winner for the... If y'all can hear me, let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. I gotta turn my music down, hold on. Okay, I hope that helps, or we're going to turn it up a little bit, and then I'm going to turn down the YouTube portion. I'm going to do the last door prize winner for the Bitter Creek Model Horses Facebook Model Horse Photo Show. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So, let me see. Get to. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I can't navigate things. Here we go. Okay. All right. Hello, hello. I'm probably, let me go ahead. Actually, I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to do the door prize deal just because I don't know how they feel about having their names on YouTube and stuff. So, we're going to go ahead and just do that later. But, oh my goodness. There we go. Hi guys, it's me. I look rough today. Just because, hold on. Sound is good. We've got multiple different things today for the unboxing. And one of the most important ones is going to be this guy right here. You guys notice Hog Heaven Designs? They are the ones that did the Grand Champion, or the top 5. Oh my gosh, my hat is crooked. The top 5 awards for the BCMH All Traditional OF Photo Show. So that's part of the unboxing. And then the other unboxing is going to be just a couple of like handful of things. Some stuff there. I can't talk today. Ugh. But hi, how's it going, guys? So first and foremost, talk about some like Breyer updates. While, you know, between the like going over, I can't remember what we went over last Friday, but it wasn't any like, we didn't get to game or anything, unfortunately. It was just some updates. They did the Breyer Fest Second Chance sale, and then they went and did the what was it? They dropped the, what was it, like the 3rd release? No, it's been like, hold on, I gotta think about it. Either the 3rd or the 4th release for the Stablemate Club. They dropped that. And I'm so sorry. I'm like super close to the camera, guys. Sorry. So they dropped the Criollo guy. I don't have my phone with me. It's somewhere in the ether, but they dropped him. He's like on the peso mold. And I can't remember what his name was. But, so yeah, they dropped him. I'm going to try to find it. People have been getting, they dropped Rowan, which I'm super excited because I made a trade with one of my buyers that she's bought like some of my copper foxes and stuff off of me. So, oh my gosh, this thing is so crooked, guys. I'm so sorry. She bought a couple of copper foxes off of me. So, let me look here. Okay, so it looks like I've got multiple different things. Hold on. Okay, I don't know why it's saying delivered twice, but whatever. I can't remember when they dropped him, though. Let me look here. I'm gonna try to find the name for you guys. Give me a second. You're just gonna... Okay, so it was the 4th release. So that's what I was wondering. It was the 4th release. His name is Javier. So I don't know if you guys can see him or not because it's kind of bright, but it's this guy. So I went ahead and ordered him. He comes in a matte, Becky, matte glossy split. Of course, you know, your girl's hoping for the glossy. I mean, obviously. But, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, so hopefully he comes in soon. I don't know when. I want to say he's the one that's coming in Monday, but I'm not 100% certain. But anyway. Okay, so a couple of things to kind of... Yeah, hold on. Okay, so there are a few things. I was trying to do a sound check again, and I can't do that and like listen to my phone while I'm on there. So, but yeah, those are the kind of the most recent Breyer things. I don't know. Oh, hi Libby. Hey girl, how you doing? Okay, that's okay. You can catch up on it later. So that's completely fine. Have fun and stay cool at the farmer's market. Seriously, those things can get hot. I don't know where you're at. I can't remember where you're at. But yeah, just be careful. So, but yeah, that's all I really know as far as recent updates. Rowan's gonna be exciting. I think that's a really, really cute mold. I don't know if I prefer the braided mane or because the person I'm trading with, she's like, choose this one. And I was like, oh, I don't know which one's good. I like them both, to be honest. It's going to be interesting kind of seeing what we can do with that mold. And a lot of people, well, one person I know of already got that mold in hand. And then one other person's already got the Javier mold in hand too, or the model in hand too. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of that. I don't know when I do get Javier if I'm going to show him or not. I think the ones that I was mainly excited about were definitely going to be the loping stock horse, and then of course the Pegasus Harbinger, I think is his name. He's optional, but I'm super excited about him. What else? Who else is coming out? Oh, the Arabian. I'm kind of excited about her. I don't have very many Arabs. I don't have very many Arabs that aren't customs. Because that's all I've got is custom mini Arabs. So let's see who else. Hello guys, if you're just coming in. Hello. It's kind of a slow start today, so I'm just kind of, like rambling. Who else is coming out in the Stablemate Club? I think the one that I'm most excited for, though, and club-wise, is going to be the mule in the Premier Club. I'm super pumped to see, and I know a lot of people, they're doing that little mini micro run of like 75, and I'm super excited to see those. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, a couple of different things today. All right, girl. See you next Friday. I don't know if it's probably going to be a mailbag, and we're gonna try to hit up the game. We'll see how it goes. Just depends on what all's going on. I can't really remember what all's going on. I think I've got like a family photo shoot or something that evening. If it's the one of the 23rd. But yeah, just be careful. And stay cool. Stay hydrated. Seriously. Ooh, speaking of, while I'm here, I got some of that Walls homemade tea, aka Lipton. That sweet tea. Yeah. Southern. If you're Southern, if you like sweet tea, but if you like sweet tea, period, you're doing something right. If you can't have it, I completely understand. But anyway, no, I like sweet tea. It's not everybody's cup of tea, literally. I do like it. I just don't drink it all the time. Like, my husband drinks it like it's religious, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know how you can do it, but okay. Anyway, so moving on to the mailbag. If I'm missing any updates, guys, let me know. Because just like, there's a lot going on. There's so much going on, but I'm just trying to make sure I got all my little boxes. I'm missing a box. No, I'm not. Okay, I got 2 big boxes, and I've got a little box. Two big boxes and 2 little boxes, and a mailer there. So, all right. The first one. Oh, this is cute. Okay, so the first one, I don't know what this is. I think it's a micro. But it comes with a 6th place placing card from a show. I I don't know what this one is about. It's a card. It says Tiny Treasures on it. I don't know if it's focusing or not. Hello. Yeah. So it says Tiny Treasures on it. I don't know. It looks like it came with this one. So we'll see. And of course, my Becky. And of course, my favorite thing ever, Peanuts, but like the micro run of Peanuts. Oh, okay. Awesome. This is going to be, hold on. Let me get in here right quick. And that looks like, I don't know if that's muslin or toilet paper. That is toilet paper. Okay. So I purchased this person because they were having a little purge. But like I was telling you guys, I don't have very many custom Arab, or not custom Arabs, original finish Arabs that are good enough to show, I should say. So all I have are custom Arabs. So here's the micro. I don't know if you guys can see her or not. It might be focused on, there we go. Isn't she cute? I think her name's like something Caviar is the name of the mold. Let me see, get over here, go this direction. Okay, anyway, she's a cutie, super excited. She came in one piece, so thank God. But yeah, you guys can't really see her great. But, you know, I'm on a micro kick now, so, she's just cute. Yeah, there she is. There we go. Becky finally decided she was gonna focus on her. But yeah, she's a cutie. Look at her. Like, she's got awesome details. Very, very cute. And, the person who did her, took really good photos, so I'm super excited. I cannot remember her name, and I don't know, I've got to figure out how I want to store her, because I don't have a pony pouch that's big enough for her, or small enough for her, I should say. So, we shall see how that goes. But, let me see. Okay, there's another one. So here's the story about this next one that, I wanted to kind of go over. I got this horse off of eBay. One of them. Now, I've gone through like 3 different ones to try to find this horse. Give me a second. I gotta get through the packaging. This is really nice, though, how they did this. But I've been through 3 different horses to try to, get the right one, and the first one never arrived because it was like lost or something. So, and then the second one was sold, but they hadn't updated it. So this next one, finally I received it. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to find out kind of what happened on the this last one, the first one that I did. Just because, I just want my money back, like, so, okay, here we go. And the reason that I wanted this one so bad, it was just because I love the loping quarter horse mold, or the loping stock horse mold. I'm not going to say quarter horse, but the loping stock horse mold. And I just fell in love with her just because she's gorgeous and she's glossy. So, her name is Flowers from, I'm going to have to turn on my computer light right quick. Hold on. Because I do this because I'm blind. See how she is. Okay. So, yeah, this is Flowers. She's on the loping stock horse mold. She was from the Best of Breyer Fest set, and I cannot remember the year though. But she's absolutely gorgeous. Love how glossy she is. She's really, really pretty. She's based off of, you know, one of the special runs that they came out with. I don't know. I thought I had a brush here, but she's kind of dusty. Sorry. She's kind of dusty. But yeah, here she is. Really pretty, like glossy chestnut. Kind of dark. Got some dark points. Just really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. So there she is. I cannot remember what I named her. It's like something... I based her name off of some reining horses. Or, well, I went to the American Quarter Horse Association, like well, maybe the NRA, something like that. She's either reining, got like a reining name or something similar. I could use that bag too. So there we go. If Becky decides that she's gonna, yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to reveal the photo, or these, last. Just because I want you guys to see them. I'm gonna do, so I bought another horse, or I got another horse from Leanne again. And, I'm super excited. I actually got, like, a handful of horses from Leanne. So, here we go. Okay. I actually got like a handful of stuff from her. And, let me see. Hold on. Oh my goodness. And as always, she packages like really well. So I've got to make sure that I open it correctly because I don't want stuff to go all over the place. Go. I don't know what that one is. Alright, so the first one that I got from her, let's do actually the smaller one. Can't remember how she told me she packed this, but she was just like, just be careful. And she was like, be careful. There we go. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. I don't know how she's got all these priority. Alright, so since I'm going to be having I'm thinking about having another photo show next, like probably in October. Becky, decide what you're going to do, girl. There we go. Alright. I ordered there was a bunch, I guess, in there we go. What in the heck? I know that all is. I might have ordered more from her than I thought. It's like a mystery box. And we're going over every single one of those. Okay. So, she's got this guy packed up. Hold on. Let Becky decide what she's going to do. Okay. She's got this one packed up in a little pony pouch. So, she wrapped these really well. But what they were a lot of, like, golden horses. Yeah, like gold and silver horses. So, I thought it might be a good idea to, feature them as like awards or something, so I don't know yet. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with them. There's some mini winnies too, so it might be something I could maybe use as like a door prize, or I don't know. Oh my. But stuff like this, like really, really cute. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what to do with them. I think they'd be really cute door prizes, some of them. These guys are heavy. Oh, as I drop them. These guys are heavy. So, there's this one. This one's super cute. It's a little, like, pony. Those guys they're hefty. They're heavy, heavy plastic. They're like Schleich. So, here's another one of the same mold. So, you know, something like, this one's a different, this one's the same mold, too. But yeah, something, I don't know what to do with them, but I figured something with, you know, the photo show maybe, or I don't know. I'm trying to just look and see what all's there. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. We're going over mailbag. I'm undoing a lot of horses that I just got from somebody. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. How's the sound? Okay, did another sound check, make sure. Okay, here's another one. If I have a consistent amount of these guys, I've got like 3 silvers. This one was another one. That one's a new one. They're kind of sticky. Oops. I'm running out of room. I've got all of my photo show prep stuff in my way. Oh, give me a second. I gotta clear some space. And I've got some photography crap going on, so yay. But yeah, these are like some hard plastic. I don't know if you guys can hear them or see them or not, but they're like hard plastic. So, and they're like sparkly. There's gold and there's silver. Put this. Oh no, my box is so far away. Also, guys, I filled up. Becky's gonna not figure out what's going on again. I'm gonna unwrap this while she's figuring out. Okay. I filled up, or I have half full the, okay, hold on, let me go back. The bag of peanuts, I can't talk today, so I'm going slow. The bag of peanuts is half full again. So, for a little while it was empty. So, alright, next, golden pony. Here's a golden pony. So I've got a gold and I've got a silver. But yeah, so the peanut bag is full again. And then I've got another one. Looks like a big, oh, this one's pretty. I got another golden one. So here's the golden one. You guys can see the gold. And they're really well done. They're not sticky. Their sealant is good. I don't know how many came in the bunch. I think quite a bit of them, actually. She did a really good job. So here's another golden one. It's the peso mold. They were like $5 too. So there's that one. If you guys have any ideas of what I could use them for, that would be awesome, because I don't know what I can use them for yet. Oh, this looks like a big, yeah, okay. Another pile of the little ones. So maybe if I've got enough here, maybe do like sectional champions for these guys. But that's the thing, though, is I kind of like them to be personalized. So they're not very personalized that way. And I don't know who can do stands. Here's a cute one. This guy's cute. Woo. He's cute. I like him. So I don't know. I'd kind of like something personalized for them, instead of just, you know, like a random horse. I'm gonna just put it over there. There we go. Okay, I got one more. Got one more little bundle here. I want to say that this is gonna be okay. So far I've got 5 big ones, so that can go. That would be perfect for top 5. Oh yeah. Except for I've got one of them is silver, so I've got to figure out how to do that one. But it's gonna be the Morgan, this guy. Has anybody shown this mold successfully either? I've got one that's custom that I'm trying to sell. Okay, we're gonna figure out where to put the camera today. Okay, I've got one that I'm trying to figure out how to, to sell, and I am not having a good time trying to sell him. He's done really well as far as like his, workmanship, but I don't know. Okay, so I've got a pile of these guys. Thank you, Leanne. And then I've got 5 and a silver. So the silver could maybe be like a reserve grand champion, and then the rest, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know what to do with them. I could possibly repaint them. Maybe. But I'm also not very good with wording, like words and stuff, so I don't know. I'll have to figure something. If y'all have a good idea, if y'all have an idea of what could possibly be, I can't remember. Oh, I don't know what this one is. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. If you guys have an idea of what I could possibly use them for, that would be awesome. Also, I purchased this little guy, and I'm super excited. This little gal, I should say, from her. It's a collectible, and I don't have very many foals, like OF mini foals, so I figured that I would try to show this guy because I absolutely love him. He could be literally anything. She could be literally anything breed-wise. So I'm kind of excited about her to just kind of see what I could do. I'm probably going to show her as a quarter horse. I'm not 100% sure yet. So, but done pretty well. I mean, the one that I got outbid on, though, I wasn't going to spend like a lot of money on him. But the Becky, thank you. The one that I got outbid on, though, a little darker, a little more definition, and the the musculature and everything like that. But you know, she's still pretty, so I'm super excited about that one. I've got to figure out her name and everything like that, but she came in a pony pouch, so I'm excited. It's one less pony pouch I have to use. So thank you, Leanne. That's round 1 from Leanne. I have another one that's a little bit bigger from her, so let me open that bad boy. Oh, she taped it too. She was not wanting him to get out. I'm super excited about this guy because I have a customized stand for him. Or I say that, just a metal stand for him. And I also have another metal stand for, I finally got one for Prague. So let me see here. Okay, there we go. I finally got the tape done. Alright, so this guy, she put his stand in base in here. So you guys remember when I received Bali Lee? He came with a certificate of authenticity, and I kept asking her. I said, "Where's the COA at?" And she's like, "I thought I put it in there. I had missed it. It was in this. Like she had taped the, so." I was like, oh, there it is. There's me not being able to, read. So, yeah, I appreciated it, though. Seriously. Okay, well, there goes everything. I appreciated her putting it in something like that and protecting it. But, yeah, that was funny. I was just like, oh, my gosh. Okay. So this guy, I looked him up, and I can't really remember. I don't think he was a regular run, but he might have been. And she got him wrapped. He's mummified. But the reason I liked him is obviously he's got tri-colored eyes. And you know me and my tries. But her photos sold him for me just because of the mere fact that he's just beautiful. He's a really, really pretty horse. And he's got a lot of details. And I think I'm showing him as a Dutch warm blood. We'll see how he does. I mean, he's kind of bored. Like, I wanted to try, me, I wanted to try something else, like different. But we'll see. We'll see how he does. With the proper documentation, I think he could do really well. Plus, I like this mold anyway. And look, she wraps the ears individually. Absolutely love it. But he definitely needs dusted off, though, for sure. But yeah, this is, I want to say it's Veratus. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but he's a pretty boy. He's phenomenal. I love him. I learned a lot this year about, Dutch warm bloods and their registry and everything like that. And it's very interesting when you think about it, how strict they are, especially overseas, about, how they breed them and all that. I did know, or I realized, because this I think is this is Salinero, is branded, but they don't allow that anymore. They're like microchipped or something, and I didn't know that. I was like, oh, so now they're microchipped, but back in the day, they were branded. So, he does have, I thought he had the brand on his hip. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, anyway, here he is in all of his glory. He's a pretty, pretty boy. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if I can get... I've got my microphone in the way. Hold on. But yeah, he's just so expressive, and his color is very well done. Yeah, he's dusty. I've got to dust him off, but he's very pretty boy. I'm super excited. And I think he'll do all right. The metal stand's definitely going to help him a lot, but he's kind of like a copper. He's got some copper undertones. If you guys can kind of see it, like right here, he's got some copper undertones. Absolutely pretty. Such a pretty boy. So he's gonna, I gotta set him over there and process him later. So that was box number 1. Box number 2 is the second chance sale from Breyer. I believe, yeah. I was like, I had to think about it because this is different tape than what they normally use. So that's why I'm like, huh? Okay. Alright, so the first one obviously is I got Hoopla. Probably gonna get the matte version just because, but maybe if I say that it'll be like, oh, psych, you got the, you know, you got the, but the first one I'll show you guys is the puppy. I got the dog because I've got a cousin who has collies, like actual collies, like big collies. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to her. Maybe. I don't know. They're not the merle color like this guy is, though. But, oh, this is my first time having a dog, too. I have never had a dog, and he's big. He is big compared to what I'm used to. But he's really pretty. And he comes with this little bandana. Here we go. Here's Life's a Journey, I think is his name. He's very pretty. Hold on, guys. Trash cleanup. Hold on. There we go. He's absolutely beautiful. Look at him. He's very pretty. Of course, he's got a little thing to keep his little bandana on, but he's cute. I might have to get one. So yeah, he's really pretty. So definitely worth it. And he's done. Oh, he's got. Huh. Yeah, he's got the eyes. If you guys can see, he's got the tries. He's trying. He's trying. But okay. Drum roll, please. Let's see which Hoopla we get. Like I said, probably not going to be the glossy just because I'm not that lucky. But send some good vibes. Probably going to sell him just because of the, like, you know. Yeah, I got the mat. That's okay. He's very pretty, though. Oh, my gosh. Where is your stand? Is that your stand? That is your stand. Okay. All right. Manifesting. I was trying to... That's what the word I was trying to go for is manifesting good vibes. Okay. Alright, but he's very pretty. Oh my gosh. Whoa. What are you hung up on? So, yeah, here he is. Very, very pretty. I've always liked this mold. But he's like the loose mane. Let me see. I don't know. I might keep him. He's really pretty. Wow. Look at him under the... Yeah, he's done very, very well, and he's big. I absolutely love the fact that he's kind of like a hefty boy. Yeah, he's very pretty. He's got the tri-colored eyes. That's one thing that I noticed on Blue Zeus. Wasn't he an online only too? Because I want to say he was online only, and he didn't have the tries. But this he's gorgeous. I absolutely love him. Comes with the shoes. He's got shoes. I don't know. I'll either sell him or keep him, but I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to do with him yet. I do have time pays, so we'll see how that goes. I was going to get another surprise horse, but they sold out in like a heartbeat. So, yeah, it was definitely one of those things. It was tough to, oh my. Oh, don't, please don't. Fit in now. Give me a second while I figure out how to do this again. Oh my. Okay, don't tell me you don't fit. Oh my. Oh, this is gonna suck. There we go. Whew! Had a moment. I had a moment. But anyway, here we go. It wasn't going in. It wasn't fitting. That just still sounds bad. But yeah, very, very pretty horse. Very, very pretty. They did a good job with this guy. And I just cannot get over the size of him. I know that sounds really bad and really weird, but I just, for some reason, I'm obsessed with this mold. I am. And I love the jumping molds. Not all of them, but this guy. I like this guy. So, and I love the you know, I think he's got the braided mane, or like the shaved mane, or the shaved tail, but he's got the loose mane. So, I thought that was kind of cool. But there's that. So, okay. That is it on the, well, hold on, before I forget. Okay, the final thing that I want you guys to see before I do anything else is going to be the Grand Champion Awards for the top 5 awards for the photo show. I'm trying to open this without like messing some stuff up. Oh god, I just don't want to break them. That's the thing. They're kind of fragile. There we go. Okay. Make sure she didn't send me anything extra. Dang, girl, you packed it. So, I think her name is Nicole. She's very, very sweet. And she always, that's what I love about her, is like, and, you know, doing her business with her, is the fact that she sends the being a repeat customer. I greatly appreciate. Yeah, so I've bought from her before, and she has always done a phenomenal job. But yeah, she wrapped all of this stuff. Her name, it's Hog Heaven Designs on Etsy. If you guys ever want to order anything, Grand Champ, Reserve Grand Champ. 5th overall and 4th overall. Okay, cool. Alright, so this is kind of neat because it's not for, it's for like something that I'm doing, which makes it kind of hit home, you know. But the first one I'll show is, here's the Grand Champion trophy. So I don't want to get them out. I really don't, because I want to kind of keep them for their people, but they're little stands, so the horse fits in this little stand. They stand about like this high. You guys have seen them. But here's the Grand Champion. The Reserve Grand Champion. Becky decides that she's going to focus. The Reserve Grand Champion. 3rd overall. So I'll have a 3rd overall horse. And I'll have a 4th overall horse. And then the 5th overall horse. So that is going to be, what's going to happen there is I'm going to choose them. Madison and I are going to help you. We're going to kind of collaborate on that deal. We're going to choose them from all the champions. So there's not going to be any randoms. Like, our champions are going to be the best of that section. And then when we choose the 5th, and like the Grand, the Reserve, 5th, and 4th overall, whatever, it's going to be from our champions. It's going to be the best horse out of everything. So there's these guys. She did a phenomenal job, as always. She's got her design on the bottom here. I will always do business with her if I can, because she is phenomenal. She is amazing. She does a great job. Absolutely just blows me away every time. So let me take a second and clean up my area, and then we'll get started on the dairy cattle presentation. So give me a second. Okay, guys, welcome to the dairy cattle model versus the real life counterpart, part 2 of kind of what we started the first time. This is going to be, I'm not as knowledgeable. I was in the dairy cattle industry for 6 years. I'm not very knowledgeable as far as like I wasn't born and raised in the dairy cattle industry, but I do have some experience. I have seen and I've judged and I've understood kind of what the dairy industry wants, but that was kind of, back in the day when I was an undergrad, so like 2015, 2014, 2013. It might have changed since then. But, it's still going to be kind of relatively similar. They're still focused on milk production. They're still focused on feed efficiency. But they're also, kind of like the beef deal. They're kind of focused on, they're, looking at them, making them pretty, stuff like that. One thing I will talk about is, some of the things that I remember seeing. Now, despite what you've heard on the internet and everything like that, the dairy industry is not like everybody says. Now that's, you guys can form your own opinions, whatever. From what I've experienced, it's awesome. The animals are treated well. There's a reason why they do everything that they do, like, how they do it, like they do it. If you guys want me to explain, I can. I just don't want to go into a lot of it just because of the fact that I did a lot of that back in the day, arguing with people who had no idea what was going on and how and why, because they never lived it. So it's kind of hard to explain to somebody who doesn't want to change their mind on certain things. So that's kind of political and I don't want to get into it. So anyway, if you do have some questions, message me and I'll explain it the best of my ability. And if you're legit, like, wanting to know, then I'll be more than happy to share my experiences and why I believe they did it. Why we did certain things a certain way at the dairy that I worked for. Yeah, so we can kind of go over that, just not on here, because I have argued with so many people and it gets to a point where it's kind of not fun to advocate for agriculture when you're arguing with people all the time. So anyway, moving on. That's my TED talk for today. So first and foremost, things to know and terms to know. Obviously, there's going to be some different terms compared to beef cattle. So dairy cattle are vastly different compared to beef cattle. If you go out to a field and you see a dairy cow versus a beef cow, they're going to be very different. Back in the day, they were used for the same thing: milk, meat, draft work, whatever. But now, since there is, a vast difference, we've got more, an abundant food supply for them. We decided we're going to just kind of diverge and create two different types of Bos Taurus cattle. So that being said, they're used for different purposes. Obviously, they're bred differently. They look for different things compared to beef cattle versus dairy cattle. Different breed standards, obviously. And so, sorry, my phone keeps going off. Within the dairy industry, there are different things as well. Certain cows. Hey girl, I was missing you, Jackie. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been kind of slow today, so I'm just kind of taking my time. You'll definitely have to see what we received in the mail. I need your thoughts on some things that I got in the mail. You're good. You're okay. You're fine. Yeah, it's kind of slow. A lot of people are busy, so I'm just kind of taking her easy. So yeah, within the dairy industry, we'll go over these breeds later, but you know, like the Jersey has more butter fat. I've got question marks because I think that's right. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I've been into the dairy industry. I'm glad you're here though, Jackie. I really am. I'm so happy that you're here. But, and then, you know, the Holsteins, they have more, they produce more milk than any of the other breeds. So, like the beef cattle, like the Charolais, you know, they're more lean versus the Angus, which are more, you know, they've got better marbling, all this stuff. The, you know, the breeds within the dairy industry have different purposes as well. Aw, girl, wait until you see. Hi, Madison, by the way. Oh, I was missing you guys. So I hope you have a good dinner. Let me know where you're eating. Madison is in Texas, by the way, getting ready for the Tournament of Champions, I think is what it's called. Yeah, jerseys are pretty, but wait until you see another breed that I'm super excited to show you guys, because I love them. They're known for being crazy, like nuts. Like trying to work with them, they're just crazy. But I'll show you guys a couple of my faves. But then, when you go into the dairy industry, you think, oh, gallons of milk and all this. But actually, when on a dairy farm, they go by pounds of milk. So if a cow produces 72 pounds of milk per milking, that's pretty hefty. I have seen it. I have seen a cow produce 72 pounds of milk right then and there while we're milking, per milk, like one milking. Most of the cattle, the dairy cattle, are horned, but they are dehorned young to prevent issues later on, because nobody wants horns on the dairy farm because they're so close-knit. They're so hands-on all the time. Horns can hurt, and they make them hard to work with. And when I was judging dairy cattle, they're judged on a vastly different scale than beef cattle. Like, oh my gosh, it's so different. And like I said before, they're mostly hands-on. Cows and calves, they've got more human interaction than any beef operation I've ever seen. Like we've got we're hands-on with our beef cows, but this is strictly hands-on, because you're milking the cows, you're taking care of the calves, you're messing with these cows every day, and these cows are so tame for the most part, I should say. There's a lot of times when we were milking some that they'd kick you. Heifers for sure, when they first calved and got into the milk parlor, oh my god, that was a lot of fun. I've got so many stories, but like this cow right here that I'm loving on, she was the biggest baby. Oh my god, she was the biggest baby, one of my favorites of all time. I think 1394 or something like that. I can't remember her name. 1312 something. I can't remember. And it's been so long, and I feel so bad because I love this cow. But anyway, so she was a sweetheart. But yeah, most of those cows were absolute sweethearts, 1000%. And that was just from being messed with from a baby to a very young age. And you guys can see in the background, though, you know, these kids, these students back here are showing these these dairy cattle. They were messed with at a young age. I'll give you my personal opinion on most of these breeds that I've dealt with. So moving on to the actual reason why we're here, Breyer, the cow mold, was introduced in 1972 when it was sculpted by Chris Hess. If you guys want to know the mold number, it's 341. There are horned and polled versions, but from what I've noticed is there are more breeds featured in the dairy cattle mold, the dairy cow mold, than they did the beef mold, which I am super impressed with, because kudos to Breyer for featuring all of these dairy breeds. Like, I'm super proud of them. So that means that I had more to research. And if you guys can guess any of the breeds, let me know. My favorite is going to be this girl down here, Elsa. And I'll show you kind of what breed I believe she is. And then, of course, I like this girl down here. But I'll tell you, I'll kind of go over which one's which. And then we'll go from there. But we're going to dive right in. So the first breed that we're going to discuss is the Guernsey. I have not had very many... I haven't had much experience with the Guernsey. I did go to school with, milked with a kid that raised really, really good ones, like national champions. But they're a breed that originated on an isle out off the coast of France. And this is another thing too, is these dairy cattle breeds are old. Like some of them are. Some of them are 2,000 years old. Not 2,000. Well, yeah, like hundreds of years old. But yeah, they go way back. And probably just because there was more, I mean, it was one of those that kind of, like I said, the dual purpose deal. So they were meat and milk. So, and they kind of developed like the shorthorn. I didn't touch on the shorthorn here, and I apologize. Ashley's going to kick my butt later. But the milking shorthorn is one of them. We'll probably look one up here in a little bit. But, they were used for both purposes. But anyway, I digress, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out what my husband's doing. So there wasn't a whole lot of evidence recorded of these guys back in the day, until about 1700. And they weren't, I guess, known as a separate breed until about 1700. For a while on the Isle of Guernsey, they prohibited anybody coming in to dilute this breed, and so they were kept pure for a while. Their main focus was to, have them graze on grass and convert that into milk production. That's what most of everybody's thought process was with all of these dairy breeds, just because they wanted them to be efficient, because grass was everywhere. I mean, especially, over in Europe where it rains all the time, and, the British Isles where it rains all the time, unlike here. So that was kind of their thought process back in the day. What's I found interesting, and I didn't know this, they've got a kind of a unique, now it sounds bad, but it's not, a unique yellow colored milk so they call them the Golden Guernsey, which means those are high solid concentrate in it. Their colors, and I've got some examples in here. This is an old photo, but their colors are kind of like a reddish, like from a yellow fawn color to a reddish brown with white patches. And it is hard sometimes for my brain. Yes, kind of like yes. Hi, Ashley. Hey, please don't kick my butt, but I forgot to put shorthorns in here, so we'll talk about them later. I'm really sorry. Hi, guys. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Yeah, kind of like the Peruvian peso. Yeah, peso, something. Yes. But and it's kind of hard to tell these guys apart from some of them, but I'll show you kind of more like present day Guernseys, compare it, and you'll kind of, it's kind of an acquired deal, because some of these guys look, some of them look alike. So, but they do, for the most part, from what I've seen, most of them have white points, and fawn-colored hide, or fawn-colored coat colors. And then, in the U.S., they arrived in 1840. I didn't read, I've stated it down here, I didn't read if they're horned or not, but I'm assuming most of them were horned and then dehorned. So, but the Guernsey mold here, it came out, so most of these models, I'm sorry, Ashley. Most of these models came out in 1972 to 1973. There was like a period where they all just released at the same time. The polled version came out in 1988. Also, there's a bunch of them that came out of the polled version in 1988 for this Bentley sales company. So there's a bunch of them. It's going to be kind of a repetitive deal, but and that's what I mentioned here, is they released them along with the Jersey, the Holstein, the Ayrshire, and the Brown Swiss. So when you're looking at this particular model, for me, it's a kind of light brown, like a fawn, like the fawn color, kind of like an orange color. In my opinion, this girl down here, she's probably going to be a young cow, like a 2-year-old or something like that, or a 3-year-old. But in my opinion, kind of looking at this one too, and like looking at this one down here, this mold to me does not fit the Guernsey. So that we're doing a model comparison here. Yes, I think they're gorgeous. And actually, believe it or not, Madison, we had a Peruvian that worked at the dairy for us, and they were very interesting people. Oh, Ashley, I'm sorry. I'm getting y'all's dealies mixed up. But yeah, we had a Peruvian that worked for us at the dairy. His name was, oh gosh, Guido. And he was very funny because he told us, I don't know if you guys are into like ghost stories or not, but he told us that he saw a ghost at the dairy once. But anyway, I have a lot of stories. I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, I love Peruvians. But they are, this mold for me does not fit the time. So like the 1970s version of a, yes. It doesn't fit the 1970s version of a Guernsey for me. Now the color is, it fits from most of them, but most of the Guernseys that I've seen in person in real life have been the fawn color. So in my opinion, for the times, now this could be but it was kind of hard to find 1970s pictures. For the time, this mold does not fit. She's a little smaller. They're kind of medium-sized cattle. I don't know if I put that or not. They're kind of medium-sized cattle. They're not very big and they're not very small. But this one to me is kind of a smaller size. If I'm just judging by, the size of her legs and everything like that. But to me, Guernseys are a little rounder made. They're a little stouter. We'll talk about one that's like does not even fit the bill, period, later on. But so I don't, not 100% in line with the real life counterpart is kind of where we're at. Guernseys in real life though. So if you're looking at this girl now and then the Guernseys in real life, you kind of think, oh, hey, okay, that's kind of, all right, we're in line here. Because versus like what they used to do back then and what they did now, they kind of still focus on the same aspects. They want, and we're going to get into some terms, some dairy cattle terms here. When you look at a dairy cow, you think, oh my God, she's so skinny. Now hear me out. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about earlier on. I'm not going to get political. Dairy cows, both of these girls are healthy. I promise you. Here's the thing. These girls put everything they possibly can into milking. Now, yeah, they kind of look like they're skinny, but that's just because they put, like I said, they put everything into their milking. We do not want a fat dairy cow because they do not milk at all. They do not put anything into their milk. They are not going to make it in the industry. Plus, it's not healthy for them. Both of these girls, they are absolutely loved to the nth degree, but they are in very good condition. They are in very good health. They're shaved. They're shorn very close because they fit dairy cattle differently than I do beef cattle. But anyway, so they're very loved, but they're not skinny. I promise you, they're very, very healthy. They're putting everything into this right here, into the udder, and they are milking a lot. So yes, milk production kind of makes them thinner, but it's not, and they're fed. Here's the thing though, is they're fed a lot. They're fed twice a day. At least the dairy that I worked for, they're fed twice a day. They are fed high protein feed, and that helps them kind of produce, more milk. But, and that's just kind of what they're bred to do. And that what that terminology, when they say that they make them, the thinner part, they call it dairy. She looks very dairy in her appearance. They talk about angles. So she's got a great angle to her shoulder. She's sharp. She's dairy. And that's pretty much what they want. Yeah, they do. They leave some hair a little on their bellies. The heifers for sure. I don't have a picture, but they clip this vein. That's that main milk vein. They clip that quite a bit. The heifers, they leave a lot of hair on the bellies. I'm sorry I don't have a good picture because I was mostly focused on cows, but they mainly shear everything on a cow except for this top line here. Just because they want that top line super straight and they glue it and everything. Yeah, Ashley, believe it or not, I had a dairy fedder tell me, oh my God, it's so hard to fit dairy cattle. And I looked up and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's not. I helped with shearing one once, and yeah, so, but they kind of look like little deer. Like, well, okay, Jerseys look more like little deer, but In my opinion, the model comparison, this model looks more like the modern day versus the 1970s. If you guys agree, let me know. But so this is what the modern day Guernseys look like. They're sharp, they're dairy, they're angular, they're big bodied, big on the udder. So when you want to, so we'll go into a little bit of dairy judging here. On this one, I haven't judged very many Guernseys, and I'm kind of picky to me. But I mean, obviously they're pictured for a reason. They're beautiful, but she's very angular. She's very dairy. They want them feminine, so they don't want a whole lot of gunk up around their jowl area. But she's got a lot of depth of rib, so she's very deep ribbed compared to, like, here's her brisket, here's her navel. She's very deep ribbed. So these two, this one is below this one. So this is her brisket area right here. This is below that, so she's pretty deep-bodied in my opinion. But most of the time they want to see a lot of veins in the udder. They want to see a high udder attachment, so she's got to have a high udder attachment. It can't be, like, below her hocks. That's a bad thing. Yeah, see, I'm telling you. I looked at him and I was like, are you crazy? And then on the udder, they want great teat placement. I know we're talking about boobies here. But they want good placement on all 4 quarters. So there's quarters on the udder. So, like, here's quarter 1. You know, there's another one on the other side. That's quarter 2. Back quarters. Believe it or not, the back quarters on a dairy cow produce 60% of the milk, and the front quarters produce 40% of the milk. I have a degree in animal science, and that's where I got it from. I'm putting it to good use, teaching you all about that. But and so they want a high, tight udder. Yes, but it's good though. I promise you, Jacqueline, it's good that they're skinny. They're actually very, very healthy like that. They don't want fat dairy cattle just because they don't produce milk. Believe me, we've had that problem. But they're high and tight in their udder. They want that. They want a lot of width in their udder, because that means, you know, more milk production. Like this girl right here has got a really high, like, udder placement. And they want this like fore udder area where my mouse is at. And they want that fore udder to be blending into the body wall. So, like, right here in this belly area, they want that to be blending in properly. Like right here, I'm kind of picky about that. That to me does not blend very well. So, but you know, but she's got, to me, this is 2 different types, 2 different ages though. Like, she's probably an older cow, like an 5-year-old or something, maybe a 6. She's probably a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds have better udder quality than older cows. But anyway, moving on. So here's an IRL picture of Fort Worth. This is actually a Guernsey heifer. This is that kid that I was telling you about. You guys can't see him very well, but this is my old, grainy, nasty Facebook photo. But this is a heifer that was shown. This kid raises them at Fort Worth, where I was at, taking some of those pictures. But yeah, that's my experience with the Guernsey, is this one right here. And I have seen them at the shows and stuff, but okay, so moving on to probably somebody's favorite breed. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how they're not my favorite, but they're cute and I love their babies. I just don't like the cows when they're older. Jersey cattle are probably the second most popular breed. They originated from kind of where the Guernseys came from, near France, and the English Channel, so around in that area. I say they're neighbors almost to the Guernsey. They were first known to be, as Alderney. I want to say that's Alderney cattle, and they kind of helped shape the Guernsey breed. So these cattle were bred with some other cattle for the Guernsey breed. Let me know if you guys are still with me too, because I'm just kind of moving along. Hold on, let me move my little corgi here. You know, peeping over here. So they are one of the oldest breeds. I don't know what my butt there was for, but they were brought into the U.S. in 1850. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of people that raise Jerseys in Oklahoma. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. My boss that I worked for at the dairy, he was a Jersey guy. hence why we had jerseys, because we were all Holsteins forever. And then all of a sudden, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here is the, we have jerseys in a barn that was built for Holsteins. But anyway, they were brought to the U.S. in the 1850s, or in 1850. But their colors, when you look at them, some of them can be spotted, but most of them, they've got better butter fat content, I think, is what I believe. But they can come in a fawn color. They can come in dark brown, like super dark brown. They can come in like fawn and spotted, all sorts of, but they're always brown. They're not any other color besides brown or fawn colored. They do have some white markings, and, okay, you have to let me know which ones they are, Ash, because, the dairy, believe it or not, the dairy world is a lot smaller than beef, for sure. But most of the time, the jerseys will have either like white points or dark points. They are the smallest breed of dairy cattle, in my opinion. When you guys see, like, these are cows up in this corner, this old photo here, it actually kind of looks like the barn, it actually looks like the dairy barn that it literally looks like the OSU dairy barn. Actually, I'll do some, okay. Yeah, Iowa's got some good dairy farms. We took tours of their dairy, the Iowa State Dairy Farm up there a long time ago. And it was snowing, I think, or no, that was Ohio. I can't remember. But anyway, but these ladies here are, if you guys can see my cursor, these are, probably 6 foot tall men. They're little bitty. And believe it or not, they have mini jerseys. Okay. They do not produce chocolate milk. Yeah, I don't know how many adults. No, like, they don't. They produce regular white milk like everybody else. Believe it or not, I have been asked if they produced chocolate milk. And you guys, I'm telling you what, I was like, huh? They do have the highest butter fat content that I believe. But the reason they're so small is because they're very feed efficient, and they are very adaptable to most climates. And of course, they're born horned, but they are dehorned later. So back in the day, so here's the Jersey model itself. And these aren't good 1970s photos. But for the most part, so the mold or the model was obviously introduced in the 1972-1973 version. This one, believe it or not, I think the pulled version came out. There was one that came out as a set that in 1992 and 1995, and then the other one, that came out before that was in the 1988 version. Oh, TDF Honest Farming is the best. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. Oh, he's so good. Yeah, if you guys don't know, he's a Jersey farmer. You guys need to watch him. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he is so funny. Oh, he is so funny. I have a lot of Snapchat videos. I need to probably, show them to you guys someday. So there's pulled versions of the, so this is one of them down here. Yes, yeah, TDF does jerseys, and then Iowa does Holsteins. Believe it or not, there are crossbreds between Holsteins and jerseys, and they're just, I can't remember what they're called. I mean, but they're just pretty much like a dark color with spots. So these aren't very good photos. I apologize. But in my opinion, if I'm just going off of what I've seen, and what I've seen back in the day, this mold fits them, but I'll show you which version it does. So it does not fit, in my opinion, the 1970, 1988 versions, because this version that both of the mold that they came on, or that this is on, is shorter and rounder, which is going to be applied to everything else in the future. But it's shorter and rounder, kind of, in my opinion, a little fatter, but then these girls right here in the middle, In my opinion, this model fits the 30s, 40s, and 50s versions. And I'll show you guys here in just a sec. So, if we're looking, here is a 1950s. I think this is a 1940s, and this is a 1930s version. Okay. So this, if you guys look at this model here and look at this girl right here, that's the one that I think fits. She's a little more rotund than, what is expected now, but she's probably very, I mean, back in the day, she's probably very healthy, and she probably needed to be healthy like that. But this is what I believe both of them look like, or the model looks like, is the 1940s, 1950s, and 1930s version. Especially this 1930s version, because if we're looking at her, she's short, round, sound, and low to the ground is what they say. She's round, sound, and low to the ground. So, I do like her, though. And they like a lot of set to that hawk, believe it or not. They do. They really do. So that's just my opinion, though. And also in my opinion, if you guys, what are your guys' feelings about Arabian horses now? Because in my opinion, this breed kind of reminds me of the Arabian horses, because they do kind of have a dished face if you're looking at them. I mean, this girl right here, you kind of can see the dished face compared to, let's say, like, you know, the Guernsey. Here's the Guernsey cow. They kind of have a dished face. Like, this girl doesn't, but, you know, these girls do. And in my opinion, they're starting to get bad as far as having dished faces and buggy eyes. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but, so yeah, that's just my opinion, though, on them. What do y'all think? I need to take a drink. Oh no! I knocked the horse over. Because I know some of the Arabians now are getting bad as far as having the dished faces. But here are some, so this is a good example of what I'm talking about, like how her face is getting way too dipped. But here are the modern day jerseys. They're still small, but they're focusing more on less round and more dairy and more like feminine. So like if you see this girl, she's got definitely some something under her jaw here. But yeah, they're focused more on making them dairy, making them, you know, I've seen some of them, they've got huge udders on them. But they're absolutely, I mean, they're still pretty. I think my favorites are the darker ones. But yeah, so here's the modern jerseys. And they still have everything that they need to focus on as far as the milk and everything. But this one's, you know, an older cow. And then this one is a younger cow. But I've seen some win the World Dairy Expo, and I've seen some of them not win, so it just kind of depends. But this is the difference of them compared to back in the day. So obviously they're a little bit more dairy in their condition. And then I do like the whites, that they've got some white in them, like some white points. The next one, oh, okay, I was going to show you all, hold on. Here's my experience in the Jersey world. Like I said, my boss at the dairy, he liked jerseys. So we went ahead and incorporated jerseys into the herd. So we had a Jersey herd, and then we had a Holstein herd that we milked. We milked about 200 head 2 times a day. So we'd have to get up at like 3 in the morning. And then we would have to get... we milked at 4 in the morning, and then we milked at 4 in the evening. So 12 hours between then. But yeah, I loved the babies, though. The babies were absolutely my favorites. But yeah, they were so cute. They were my favorite. But I worked at the Oklahoma State Dairy for 6 years. And showed dairy cattle for a couple years, judged for a year. So this was my experience. I got to take care of the babies. Okay, so moving on to... They're very expressive. Oh my gosh. And their personalities. Whew. Okay, so let's talk about the Ayrshire breed here. So this is probably one of the prettiest breeds, in my opinion. They are from Scotland, so they're kind of cousins, not really cousins, but they're from, you know, the same area as an Angus was. They came from crossing some Teeswater and Channel Island cattle together. They're very hardy, and of course, they were focused on the grazing to milk production, so the grazing efficiency and the milk production. They were imported to the U.S. in the 1800s. They are mostly red and white in color, but here's the thing about them. They're not just like a Holstein, like they're not, you know, red and white, or black, you know, like the Holstein's black and white. Anyway, we'll go over that later. They are kind of like a dark red. They're a mahogany. What I read online is mahogany that varies in shade. Most of their spots are jagged, but then there's red pigmentation. So I can't remember what it's called, but it's like, think of an Appaloosa with the spots under their skin. It's kind of like that with these guys, and I'll have a really good example here in a little bit. Once upon a time, they were brindled, but they're not now. They were horned. They're kind of a medium-sized cow. Their milk is known to be the ideal drinking milk just because they've got a lot of the necessary ingredients, nutrients that you need, like calcium, butter, fat ratio, all of that stuff. And I didn't know that. And in my opinion, this breed is just really feminine and really long and really dairy and sharp and just super pretty. So the Ayrshire model, here's the Ayrshire model. Of course, the first one is going to be up in this corner. It came out in 1972 to 1973. Dark red and white, kind of just like a basic pattern here. Of course, they were horned. I have not seen a horned Ayrshire except for this gal right here. She's beautiful. Absolutely love this one. I don't know who she is, but she's pretty. So I have not seen another horned Ayrshire picture in a while. But the polled version came out in 1988, of course. And it was the one... Ooh. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay. So, okay, so the polled version came out in 1988 with, you know, of course, for the Bentley Co., whatever, the Bentley Sales Co. The model, of course, is the same model they use, styled more like the Jersey. For me, she does fit the breed in the style or the build. I'm not a big fan. I don't know if this picture is supposed to be that bright red, but in my opinion, they're not that bright red in real life. Now, I could be, you know, going crazy or whatever, but so this kind of right up here, the older model fits a little bit better. I still think that needs to be a little bit more red, but not this red, not the polled version. It's not speckled, which I'm not going to say that that's not you know, possible, but most of the Ayrshires I've seen have not been this cookie cutter, I guess, as far as the pattern. They've been like this gal at the bottom, or I'll show you here in a little bit. This is a 1970s Ayrshire, and in my opinion, the udder quality is insane. The body wall here, oh my gosh. But she's, like I said, she's kind of a medium size, so this is a medium size breed. Not too big, not too small. Very pretty, very stylish from the side, absolutely gorgeous from the side. I still think, like I said, I still think the model fits this version, but today's version, absolutely not. So let's move on to today's versions. Also, here's Elsa, Peep Elsa. In my opinion, Elsa, to me, fits the Ayrshire 100%, and you'll see why here in just a sec. Absolutely love this girl. Would love to own her. I know she's expensive, but, oh, she's so pretty. And she's glossy. I would like to own her, though. So here's the modern day Ayrshires. This gal over here looks a little bigger. But you know what I'm saying on the, having the speckles under the skin, having the dark mahogany color to the skin. So maybe this gal fits a little bit better than what I was thinking. Almost kind of like a cherry red, like a super dark, deep cherry red. But I like this gal right here just because I like the way she's built, kind of in this corner right in the bottom right here. Their udder quality to me is a little different, and you have to judge them a little different compared to like a Jersey or a Holstein. But they're very pretty, very long-bodied cows. And from what I've heard, they're also the craziest. I don't know. I have never... My dad told me maybe there was a crazy Ayrshire that he dealt with back in the day. I'm not a breeder. I don't know. But they're very elegant looking, in my opinion. They're very elegant. They're very long. They're very dairy, sharp, angular, whatever you name it. Yes, they're definitely similar in color, but I think a Shorthorn's got a little bit more of a lighter red, I think. I don't know. I could be crazy. And they definitely, I don't think they've got all these speckles, right, Ash? I don't think they've got all these speckles. Like this girl right here is a perfect example of an Ayrshire. And also the Ayrshires have got crazy colors on their faces. Most of the Ayrshires I've seen, like this girl right here in this corner, the mostly white, she could possibly be mistaken for a red and white Holstein, except for the fact that her pattern here is jagged and nuts looking. But these girls right here are perfect examples of Ayrshires and I absolutely just love the crazy colors on their heads. Yeah, they're definitely different for sure. But those are the modern day Ayrshires, and they definitely, to me, do not fit this mold at all. The 70s definitely fit a little bit better. Whoop, there we go. Okay. Moving on to my favorite breed of all flippin' time, guys. Oh my god, I cannot stress to you enough how much I love the brown Swiss. Because they are the biggest babies of all time. They are just, and their ears, they look like donkeys when they're shaved. I love them so much. Anyway, I thought I had pictures on here, and I'm so sorry, I don't. I don't have any more pictures. I thought I did, because we did at one time, there was a national brown Swiss show taking place in Stillwater, where I was going to school at. No, you're good. Yeah, the roan. So, I kind of agree. It's kind of like a roanish. I don't know. A roan to me has more white. White hairs mixed with the red, and this is just like white and then the red. Like it's kind of like a longhorn if you think about it. But at one time we had a national show going on in Stillwater, and so we people would literally drop their cows off and have us milk them. And so we got to take care of some brown Swiss, and that's when I fell in love with them. Ugh, I cannot stress to you how much I love this breed. But anyway, they're also considered one of the oldest breeds next to the Jerseys. Of course, they're called brown Swiss because they originated in the Swiss Alps in Switzerland. They are born and bred to be stocky, powerful, rugged cattle to be able to go through that terrain because they're in the Swiss Alps. They're in the foothills of the mountains. So they're very hardy. They're one of the longest or the largest breeds of dairy cattle. The Holsteins, probably, I don't know, they're kind of in contention with each other. Their milk is ideal for cheese making, obviously. But they're all gray or light gray or dark gray. There is no in between. There's no spots. There's nothing. They're either mousy gray, light gray, or dark gray. There is another offshoot of them called the Braunvieh. Sorry, I can't talk right. A Braunvieh. They're pretty much the same thing, just the beef version. They can be dual purpose. I have seen some that they've raised. One of my professors raised 2 brown Swiss to their steers. They're both castrated males, and he used them to pull stuff like carts and stuff. They're very quiet tempered, except for the fact that they're stubborn. Jerseys, don't get me started on them. They're stubborn, and they're also kind of missing a few brain cells too. Um, but the model counterpart, let's talk about it right quick. So this model obviously was the same thing. It was released in the 1972-1973 area. The horned version, I have yet to see a horned brown Swiss yet, but I know that there are some, and I know that they originated as horned. Because obviously the two steers that my professor raised were horned. Excuse me. They looked more like ox. The model itself, the polled and the horned version, does not fit the breed, period, at all. The mold is based off of obviously the Holstein and the Jersey, but the actual breed itself is super tall, super big, wide-faced, wide-muzzled, round-made, rugged-looking, just nothing compared to the model, nothing compared to the model, its model counterpart. I mean, the two pictures that you see of the cows themselves, those are both 1970s versions, and yeah, they definitely do not fit at all. The real, like the brown Swiss today, it's kind of like the Charolais thing. So they're getting to be a little bit more elegant, a little bit more feminine. They're still big-bodied, stout-made cattle that are pretty rugged. The one on the left, in my opinion, she's very, very, very feminine. She's a little different than what I'm used to seeing as far as a brown Swiss. But she's, like I said, she's gearing up to be, hello! Hi, Libby! Oh my gosh, how did it go, girl? I hope it went okay. I'm talking cows again, obviously. I'm glad that you're here, seriously. I'm so glad. But so she's, the one on the left is kind of built more for the show ring. She probably milks really good. The one to the right is a very stout, big-ribbed, big, powerful cow. And she's kind of more what I'm used to. But I'm still in love with this breed just because I'm so proud of how they're going with this. They're making them less round and more angular, I guess. They're getting better, kind of like what they are with the Charolais. If you guys remember me talking about the Charolais cattle, they made them really stout. They were really stout, really powerful, really just like round. And now they're making them more feminine, making them easier to reproduce and have less issues, while calving and stuff like that. So, but that's the brown Swiss. That is my favorite breed of dairy cattle. And here, I was going to tell you guys, this is a really bad picture. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to find something for you guys. The World Dairy Expo. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you made some money, girl. Seriously. Definitely makes it worth it. So the brown Swiss, so the World Dairy Expo is the world's largest dairy cattle show ever. Absolutely. Like, if you win this thing, you have the best dairy cow in the world. They show by breed, so they have a breed per day, and it's like at least like a week long or something, maybe less. I can't remember. I loved one. I've been there once. I have been to the World Dairy Expo once, and it was phenomenal. I met a Canadian and a French person all in the same day. That's how amazing it is. The Brown Swiss show is my favorite show just because it is so immersive. And it gets the Swiss culture in it. So every person who, I'm trying to think how they do it. If they win their class, division champion. So if they win their division and they come out for champion brown Swiss, this is the champion drive that I'm showing you here. If they come out, they wear these, really colorful, I don't know what they're called. They're like shirts, and they're very colorful, kind of based on the Swiss culture. And then they bring these guys, and I want to say, I cannot remember what if you guys, oh gosh, the cough drops, you guys think about them. those guys, they bring them out with the horns and everything, and they like play them, and it's so, and then you get the Swiss bell, and it's so cool. Definitely look it up on YouTube if you can. The Brown Swiss Champion Drive at the World Dairy Expo. Look it up. It's phenomenal. I was going to show you guys that because it's my absolute favorite. Yodelers. I'm not going to say it's yodelers, but it's the same thing. But yeah, they do the horns, and they do everything. They got the bells, the Swiss bells that they give them. You know, it's awesome. It is amazing. All right. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the most popular dairy breed in the world, aka the Holstein, or the Holstein Friesian, however you want to put it. Let me stretch. Let me take a drink. Give me a second. Who all is still with me, by the way? I would love to know. Are you guys having fun? Enjoying yourself, learning a lot, I hope. So the Holstein is the one. Definitely, Libby, you should. It is awesome. So it's not a fast thing. It's not a fast occurrence, but you get to see everything that goes on, and it is really cool. Oh, another thing about the World Dairy Expo is every year. Yay! Hi Ash, thank you. Every year the World Dairy Expo has a theme, kind of like Breyer Fest. But what's cool is the color. The color. So down here is not dirt. It is pine shavings. Oops, sorry. Go back. Okay. So like you guys notice, I'm doing a different. Let me see. I don't know. Let me see if I can find some. I really want to show you guys this, but it might not work out. Okay. So every year at the World Dairy Expo, it is in Madison, Wisconsin. I think it's in Wisconsin. I know that. Ash. So every year the World Dairy Expo has a theme that they, decorate everything and all this stuff. So I can't remember what this theme was, but every year they have a different color of wood shavings that you can show on. So like Louisville is another really prestigious dairy show, and that's during the Louisville, and it's North American Livestock Exposition. It's during that. And they've always got green shavings. Like, you always show on green shavings. And in Fort Worth, believe it or not, we showed on green shavings. And I remember my socks were green, and I had green shavings inside my shoes. Because we showed at Fort Worth. That's really all that we showed at in Tulsa. But, so, yeah, every year the World Dairy Expo changes the color of their shavings. So one year it's like purple, and one year it's like the year that I went, it was a salmon color, and then the next year it's like this gold color or whatever. So it just kind of depends on their theme, but they get really expressive with their theme. Like, right, you guys can see in the background of this right here, it's built to look like a palace. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, oh my gosh. That champion Holstein. Whoo, girl. But okay, let's talk about the Holstein right quick. So, the Holstein, like I said, is the oldest, one of the, well, I'm not going to say one of the oldest, but they originated in Europe about 2,000 years ago. In the North Holland and Friesland areas. So they took them, like they originated, or they took these black cattle, and I can't remember which one it was, but they had Batavian, I'm gonna say it's Batavian and Frisian cattle, one of which was solid black, one of them which was solid white, and they bred them together and got the black and whites. Of course, they kept to the, making sure that they can thrive on grass and have awesome milk quality too, and milk production. But eventually, they became the highest producing dairy cow in the world. They are the highest producing dairy cow for pounds of milk in the world. I want to say that their milk is kind of just a balanced out version of everybody else's. because they've got the most pounds of milk, but I'm not going to say they have the highest butter fat or the best cheese or whatever. But they do produce the highest amounts, the highest pounds of milk per, in the world. They are always black and white, or speckled, or solid black with white points, or solid white with some speckles, or red and white with the same, speckles and all that stuff. They can't be any other color unless they're crossbred with something else. They are one of the largest breeds in the world as well. They can get huge. And I have some pictures, personal pictures in here that I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. They are born horned, but there are some efforts being made to make sure that they are polled. There's some polled bulls out there that they're starting to breed with because they're tired of, dehorning them. They are not resistant to heat like others are. Most of the cattle that we have talked about, they are resistant to heat and all this stuff, and they're very good. They're very adaptable. These guys aren't. They're just not. They are pretty good, easy to deal with, though. I've had some that weren't when we were, teaching them to lead and, halter, putting them on a halter and everything like that. But most of the time they are. They're just decent. To me, they're just kind of like, sassy. They're the divas of the dairy industry. That and the Ayrshires. Hello, going back. Okay, so the model. This is the most versions that Breyer has produced of any of the cows and anything that we've talked about. They've produced the Holstein the most. The Holstein is the most iconic dairy cow. That's from, just if you've not been in the dairy industry and you're looking, you guys, if you think of dairy cows or milk cows, you think of the Holstein #1, just because the Holstein's everywhere. Obviously it's in the Chick-fil-A advertisement. It's in, just everybody thinks that's a cow, period, is a dairy cow. And, they are the most, commercialized cow I have seen ever. But the model was produced obviously in the 1972, 1973 area. That was the first one, which was the blue in the corner, the right corner of the top. The second was a cow-calf set that was produced in 1974 to 1989. I'm going to say it was the one that's in this corner over here, right here with the cow family. The third model was a polled version. I want to say it's either one of these two. I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys. I can't, and it was an unknown retirement date and an unknown number produced. The fourth was the horned and speckled version right up here. 1997 to 2000. The fifth was a polled version, so I'm assuming it was this one or this one. It's one of these two. And then that one was 2001 and 2004. And then the sixth one, which is probably the one that we've seen the most of, is this cow-calf set down here, which was released in 2015 to 2016. This one came in like a box, like an animals. They had like an animals thing. They re-released some of them, I guess. So the model comparison. Let's talk about this and kind of get into discussion. I'm about running out of time, but hey, I think that the timing's good. So the first model that they came out with represents the smaller, more moderate size Holstein, maybe that came out in the olden days, maybe something like this gal right here. But I've never seen a small Holstein. From personal experience, I've never seen a small Holstein. They are horned, so they did that properly. Most of those first Holsteins were horned. And then the polled ones, like this black cow here, kind of reminds me of one of the ones that we showed, but she was a lot taller. She's about tall as this girl right here. The udder placement's okay, but in my opinion, going off of these three photos right here of these 1970s girls, this mold itself does not represent the breed of the time. Most of these girls are super tall. Maybe this one in the center kind of represents them, but They're mostly very big, very tall, very round, still very round, still very just, I mean, they're just huge. And these girls have got a lot of leg, a lot of leg. They're huge. And this girl, this model does not. So, in my opinion, if we're talking about the mold versus the 1970s version, definitely does not fit. Modern day Holsteins, still about the same size. What they're doing now is they're starting to make them sharper, more angular. These are old cows. These are aged cows. Probably like 8, that's kind of pushing it. Maybe 7-year-olds, maybe. They are putting a lot of effort into making their udders bigger now. If you guys can notice these things are about the size of my forearm, wide. I've seen them in person and hooey, but these girls are long as freight trains, just massive bodied. And they're cool colored. I love them. I love this. So here's like a mostly black one, mostly white one down here, and then kind of like the conglomeration of both of them here with the crazy color up on their head. But these are the modern Holsteins, and like I said, these are the ones, them and a Jersey are ones that win the shows most often. The red and white is probably going to be my favorite version of a Holstein because I just love the reds. We actually showed this girl, this red Holstein right here. I can't remember if we raised her or bought her from at the dairy that I worked for. I can't remember if we raised her or bought her, but we took her to Louisville and actually won some stuff with her, so she did pretty good. But these 3 right here are personal. This is me. This is the World Dairy Expo that I attended. This cow right here was probably the most popular and most famous cow, red and white Holstein. But they're just a recessive strain from the original black and whites. They're kind of like, I didn't mention this in the beef cattle deal, but they're like Red Angus. Red Angus are a recessive gene. But they were officially recognized as a breed in 1964. They do naturally occur. So it's a Holstein. It's just red. I do love them though. They're really, really pretty. And I'm going to say they're a little sassier than a normal Holstein because they're redheads. I blame them on being a redhead, but they're my favorites. Here's some personal photos. You guys can tell that we raised Holsteins. So we did a lot of like field days and showed some. Here's some babies. I showed some for the school. Another baby with his calf jacket on because it got cold. There's a sale heifer. She's kind of mostly white with the black on the face. This right here in this corner, if you guys can see it with the Purina and the red, this little girl, she's about 4 foot tall, and that's a heifer. I don't think that's a cow. That's a heifer. So yeah, that's a really big one. Here's that black cow I was talking to you guys about, and then this little red calf we raised. But this was this photo in the center right here was a photo that we submitted as a club to the, I want to say there was a dairy magazine that was going out that was doing a cover contest. So that was our submission. I'm right here, I think. This is Panda. We raised her. She was my baby. And then obviously, like, here's the new freestall barn that we built before I left. And then here's some more cow photos that I took. So that's my experience with Holsteins. So that is the end, guys. We have reached the end. Do you guys have any questions? Or you guys want me to be quiet? Because I think I have taken a lot of your guys' time. And I'm going to move my little corgi over here and make him bigger. There. So you guys have any questions? Everybody all good? I hope you guys enjoyed that too, because I'm not a I am not a dairy person by any means, but I did spend some time in the industry. Thanks, Libby. I appreciate it. Okay, so Ash is talking about dairy shorthorns. So while I'm here, let me get out of this right quick. Hold on, I gotta figure out how I want to. Okay, there we go. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay, so all right. So here's the dairy shorthorns. I don't know why it's giving me, well, anyway. Okay, so they're kind of similar, I think, to, like, the Ayrshires they came from Teeswater and Durham cattle. So Teeswater was also part of the Ayrshires as well. Oh, hold on, guys, I gotta fix my corgi again. Boop. Go ahead and put him in the corner. Yeah, I was born and raised in the beef thing, so I definitely had eye-opening experiences when I worked for the dairy forever. So shorthorns, I still want to say, let's see, they were introduced, let's see, the breed was used, I'm reading, sorry guys. So 1804, that was kind of the first introduction. 1810. They've got their own, they kind of have their own herd book in 1958. Believe it or not, the first dairy shorthorns, they call them milking shorthorns. The first milking shorthorns were actually just down the road from me, the Von Tunlin Ranch. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, they were some of the first dairy shorthorns or milking shorthorns in the U.S. Let's see. I'm trying to read some more on here. So yeah, the dairy shorthorns are mostly red and white, red or white or roan. Let's see. They're polled or horned, and they're very docile. Oh, girl, I'm telling you what, it was... okay, I'll share that with you. Hold on, let me get through this right quick, and I'll share with you kind of what my thoughts are on that as far as waking up early. I can't do it now, and I will not do it now. Let's see. So that's pretty much it on the milking shorthorns. So milking shorthorns are like, here's some good examples. Milking shorthorns. Oh, of course, this is Oklahoma State. So they entered the U.S. Maryland, Miller, blah, blah, blah. See, they don't mention the Von Tunlins here, but anyway. Mostly the milking shorthorns are just going to be, they look like a shorthorn beef cow. They're just the angular dairy looking things. Like, if you guys can see, they've got the milk quality. They've got the udder and all that stuff. I know that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to look and make sure. So here's another milking shorthorn. So this one, in my opinion, you can get her mixed up with an Ayrshire just because she does have the speckling and stuff, but it's the dark head for me that's going to say, okay, that's a shorthorn. Here's another really good example of a big girl, big milking shorthorn. She's got the speckles and everything, but she's a milking shorthorn. Here's another really pretty milking shorthorn. Oh my gosh. In my opinion, the milking shorthorns don't have the greatest udder quality. Just because I don't really know. They just don't, in my opinion. Compared to, like, this girl's got a really pretty udder. But they just don't have the high, tight udders. Like, here's a good roan that the Holstein or the Jersey would have. So, but okay, so going back to what, hi, it's me again. So going back what to Ashley was talking about is, oh crap, I got rid of my thingy. Hold on. Getting up every morning. So when I was at the dairy, I got up at 3 o'clock every morning. And at that time, when I first started, I lived in a house, and it wasn't too far, but it was, I mean, I wasn't used to it. I wasn't well, okay, I was kind of sort of used to it because I did the stock show thing and everything, but I was more used to getting up at like 5 in the morning. So getting up at 3 was kind of meh, but I had coffee, I had Mountain Dew, you know, I had stuff that I could, stay up to date. But once you get into it, it's not that bad. What I enjoyed most about getting up early was how quiet it was after you got done milking. Say, when, like, because sometimes I'd have to milk and then I'd have to go take care of babies. And sometimes it was very peaceful, and it was so fun to watch, like, be the only, well, not the only one, but be the one that was up watching the sun come up. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet. Everything starts waking up. Another PSA is my dad worked at this same dairy for 2 or 3 years, and then he worked at Brahms, which is another big dairy that milks about 14,000 head just down the road from me now. So he worked there, and then he went on to beef stuff, but he started in the dairy industry as well, in his college career. But yeah, I always thought it was very nice to wake up pretty much before everybody else, and I would not go back to sleep, because if I did, I would be so I'd waste the day. So I'd stay up, and I'd be up for 12 hours or so, but it was worth it. It was so pretty. Some of the sunset photos that I have taken have been at the dairy. I don't know. Oof. Let me see if I can find one in here. You guys are just going to see my personal Facebook photos. Doop. Doop. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Let me get rid of a lot of stuff. Hold on. Let me see if I can find some of my photos. So, here we go. So here's some photos that I've taken. Like, this is a sunset photo. But those are some of the photos I have taken. And that was just waking up, being like the first one to wake up. Like, here's another one. Here's a really pretty one. And it was just a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Did it suck sometimes? Did I not want to wake up? And did I have to go to bed early? Yeah. And I'm kind of with Ashley now. I don't think... Here's another one. I took a lot of pictures at the dairy. There's one. Here's a post-milking photo. That one looks really bad. There's a cool one. There's a sunrise. This is a sunrise. So this is a post-milking in the morning photo. But can I do it again? No, probably not. I just don't think I can. Oh, that's campus. Let's see. If you guys look through all my photos and stuff, most of them were done at the dairy. Here we go. Here's the most iconic photo I ever took. So yeah, I don't blame Ash. I would definitely not be able to do it again. Just because of the mere fact that I am old. I can't do it. But yeah, if you guys learned a lot, let me know. I definitely enjoyed talking about it. There was a lot of time spent at the dairy for sure, and a lot of good stories, like us ordering pizza at like 10 o'clock at night and having a pizza delivery driver come to the dairy, and he almost got lost, and we had to pay him in like coins. That was fun. Because we were waiting, it was when a tornado hit, and there was another guy that milked over in Kingfisher, and his dairy got hit by a tornado, and so he was bringing his stuff to us so we could milk them, because the cows have to be milked every day for a while. And so we were waiting on that. So we were like, well, crap, we're hungry. So we just went ahead and ordered food. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But anyway, it was a fun time. I think the babies were probably my favorite to take care of. I did like the cows. Like, I showed this cow in this picture at Tulsa one year. I did like showing and I did like judging. I liked all of the opportunities that that were given to me, though, presented to me, because I got to go to Fort Worth. I got to go to the World Dairy Expo. I mean, it was a lot of fun. All of it was a lot of fun. I definitely would go back and see things again, but I would not go. I would not do it again. Let me look up. Believe it or not, some Family Dairy Center. So back in the day, it used to be just the Oklahoma State Dairy, but now it's called the Ferguson Family Dairy Center. It is, let me see. Yeah, so the babies, there's the babies, but I was here during this entire thing. This was the Ferguson family. They donate a lot of money to the Dairy Cattle Center. But yeah, it was definitely worth it. I don't even know. Actually, I don't even know if they've still got some of my pictures on here. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh, actually, no. Oklahoma State Dairy Science Club. So I was heavy in the Dairy Science Club for a while too. Actually, ta-da! Here we are. There's me. Let me see. So we got to go to a lot of things, actually. Let me see if there's still any, if they've got anything on here that were like old photos. Hold on. Definitely not me. I knew half of these people, actually. There's one of them. I'm not in that one. That one's an old one. So here's us. This is part of us. We did that. And then here we are again. So I was heavy on this. And then here we are again. God, that was a long time ago. Here we are again. Here we are again. And then there's one of my photos that I took. So yeah, the dairy cattle, the Oklahoma State Dairy, they've got a pretty good little dairy thingy going on. Here you guys go. There's a brown Swiss girl. There you guys go. Look how cute she is. I love her face. Here is an Ayrshire. So here's an Ayrshire. Here is a red and white Holstein. I'm just randomly going on through here. This is a red and white Holstein. Jersey babies. Gosh, they've got so many different photos here. Good Lord. Let me see if there's anything good in here. Okay, here's a big black Holstein. Trying to see if there's any of the ones that we raised. So, yeah, here's a lot of my stuff right here. Yeah, so, yeah, I drew this. I think, we had like a sign competition. Yeah, here's that black cow that I was talking about. This girl right here that I'm holding is one of my favorite, but this black cow is one of my favorite. She was a spoiled, rotten baby, though. But anyway, that is it. That is all I've got. I hope you guys learned a lot. So yeah, that's the dairy cattle deal. I hope it made sense. But now I'm heavily, beef cattle. I still keep up to date with the dairy stuff. If you guys get a chance, watch the World Dairy Expo, like the Grand Drive, for all of the breeds. So, like the Supreme Champion Drive, watch that. It's worth it, 100%. Another thing is when they do show dairy cattle, they wear white pants. And it sucks because I'm the worst at white. I cannot wear white to save my life because it gets crap all over it. So that was definitely a culture shock. Becky, thank you. Okay, guys, that is all I've got to present today. So for the next month, so next Friday, we'll be trying. I'll try to play. We'll kind of resume my my game. Just to kind of depends on where we're at. And if not, we'll just do like a mailbag or whatever. But I am closing the photo show tonight at midnight. Then next week, so the September video will be how many of those do we have? So do we have one more? Oh, we've got one more August video. Okay. I'm not sure what we're gonna do for the next August video. If you guys have any, like, we might do maybe like livestock, like other animals that they do, like the pigs. Maybe we might talk about briefly about pigs and other livestock animals that they've got Breyer models on. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll discuss it. But yeah, so the 29th would be the next one. The 22nd is going to be possibly our next gaming deal. But in September, we're going to start off with live show prep. So the first September video that's on the day, like the day that I'm off, we'll do live show prep, because the 27th is the next live show that I'm going to. So okay, guys, I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. If you guys missed the first portion of this video, go ahead and just rewatch it. It's just mailbag. So bye, guys. I'll see you later. Thank you again for tuning in, and you guys stay safe and stay cool out there.